So hello, everybody. My name is Dave Foley. I'm from Hasmark Publishing International. I'm joined today by Judy O'Byrne from Hasmark Publishing, and also our very special guest today is Tom Herstad, and he wrote a beautiful book called Second Line West. Second Line West is his first book, and it is an amazing creation. Tom, can you tell us the significance of the title and really who is the book for?
Sure, Dave. And hello, Judy.
Hey, Tom.
It's Second Line West is a road that we lived on back in the 70s, 80s. Our mother was a widow at 38 with 4 children.
Wow.
Wow.
Our home on Second Line West was a place that she brought people into. Our spare bedroom was very rarely empty. So that's the significance of Second Line West. It's the road that we lived on. It's the house that we shared a lot of wonderful memories in.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because I'm sure just the title alone creates a mental image of what life was like back then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it also lends itself to, she brought people into the spare bedroom, and it's like Second Line West was a place for people to have a second chance.
Oh, how significant there's no such thing as a coincidence.
That's right. Yeah.
And here it is. That's the main street.
So is this book for people that need a second chance? I guess we all do.
I guess we all do, but yes, it's the result of my mother's memorial service. My mother passed at 73, and at her memorial service, I was approached by 3 people, and they said, "Do you remember me? I stayed with you back in the 70s." And the other 2 were in the 80s. They said that time in your home was so significant to my life. I needed a place to regroup, and your mother opened your home and her heart to me. And as a result, I found my way, and I owe a lot to your mother. And it was really interesting because after the memorial service, we decided that we were going to go and find additional people that did stay at our home.
And speaking of your mom, Tom, there is she has a favorite life motto, which I understand is to love another is a gift we give to ourselves.
Yes, that was her life motto. And I really became present with that as a statement and a motto when I was writing the book. I live in a 1922 farmhouse, reconditioned, and there's a loft at the top of the house, and that's where I did the writing. And after the interviews were completed, I pinned them all up on all 4 walls. I thought to myself, why did my mother bring these people into our home? These people that needed a place to stay, that needed help, that needed a helping hand. And then it occurred to me, I think we're born with an inherent desire, want, and actual need to connect and help one another. And it's through that experience that we ourselves experience joy and fulfillment. And that's how that statement plays out. We can focus on ourselves, go after things and wants and money and desires and goals. Does true fulfillment and happiness come from that? I don't know. But our mother believed that when you love another, it's a gift that you give to yourself. And that was obvious that night when I was at these pages on the wall.
That is so awesome. I just think that's so beautiful, right? And that's, I think, part of the creative process is when your mind finally rests and everything else, all that other noise, then, spirit comes knocking. Okay, time to get up and write something or create and compose and get it out of your head. Yeah. So I appreciate that. And that's a great motto to live by as well.
Oh yeah.
Your mother helped an awful lot of people. And these were people that were kind of at their low points in their life most of the time. Not that they were mostly in the low points, but it was the people that she helped needed the help the most. right when they needed it, she was there for them. Is there
Yes.
any of these people that stayed with you or that went, through her care, let's call it, that you remember the most, or that are the most memorable, or maybe your favorites?
Yeah, there's a couple. Barbie. Um, I went to school in Rochester, New York, Rochester Institute of Technology, my first year, 1983. I've been away for 9 months, other than the 2 days at Christmas. When I came home after that year, I came into the house. There was nobody around. I walked through the kitchen and down the hallway to my bedroom. There was ladies' clothing all over my bedroom. As I turned to look down the hallway, my mother was coming out of the dining room, and she was like, "Shh, come here. I need to talk to you." I said, "What's going on in there?" And I pointed into my room. And she said, "Her name is Barbie. She needs that room more than you do right now, and I'm not moving her around. You got your first year under your belt. Your grades are up. You're on your way. This girl is not on her way, and you and I have an opportunity to do something about that for her. Know that I love you. You're my guy, but you need to make a decision right now. Do you want the spare bedroom or the couch?" I took the spare bedroom. Now, who is Barbie? My mother said we have a collective consciousness. When you think about somebody more than twice, call them. Her cousin, Irene, down in St. Louis, she hadn't spoken to her in 20 some years, kept coming to her mind. My mother calls her up and says, "Irene, I've been thinking about you. What's going on?" Irene says, "I can't believe you called. My husband's dying of cancer. He's an alcoholic. He's verbally abusing my youngest, and she's suicidal." And my mother said, "Put her on a bus. I got her."
Wow.
Just like that.
Just like
That's
that.
in the room. She was in and out of our house for about a year and a half. She regrouped. She went into theater and became a prop specialist. Are we still in touch with her? Yes, we are.
Cool. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there's so many heartwarming stories like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Let me share another one with you.
Sure.
1985, my mother's in Toronto. She locks eyes with a homeless lady. She walks over to this lady and she says, "Excuse me, dear, what is your name?" The lady says, "My name is Rosie." My mother said, "Rosie, you're coming home with me." She brought Rosie home. Now, this was over Christmas. She spent 3.5 months in our house. Rosie had lost her teeth to poverty. She was on the streets for over 20 years. My mother bought her a full set of teeth for Christmas that year.
Wow.
Rosie smiled for the first time in years for a picture. Before she left, she sat us all down at the kitchen table and she said, "Your mother's given me 2 gifts far more important than these teeth.
Wow.
The first gift is she's allowed me to witness your relationships and feel a part of a family. I've never seen this before. And the second thing your mother has done is she's allowed me to understand how I can love myself exactly the way I am." And with that, she left. And we heard that she connected with her brother and went back to northern Quebec, to the Indian Reserve. So she reconnected with her family. She just needed somebody to see her. My mother did, and it helped her regroup, and she felt important and
validated to be
invalidated.
a person. And wow.
Yeah.
What an extraordinary thing to do. I mean, fast forward to today. Can you imagine? It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Between all the horror stories you hear, but your mom to have such an open heart. Like, she didn't give thought to consequence other than unselfishly to them.
I asked my mother's best friend not too long ago, we were having the conversation about how our mother was able to love the way she did. And this lady said, "Your mother saw the soul. She didn't see a face." And as a result of being able to see the soul, she was able to know, trust, and I guess read that decision. To open your home is a big deal.
It is a big deal. That's your sanctuary. That's where everybody feels safe. And you're right. She has to have seen the depth of a soul to have trusted that soul to bring it into her sanctuary and to share it. And not only just share it just herself, but now she's sharing it with 4 kids, which is pretty incredible. Wow.
Yeah, we used to say every once, well, I was the man of the family, so it was my job to ask every once in a while, are you sure about this person? Or, are you sure you want to do this? As a protector. And it was always the same reply. Tom, we'll figure this out. Or if you said something about somebody in a judgmental way, she would land this on you. I'm going to love them through that.
Wow. That reminds me of one of your stories was about you didn't use the word biker, but he seemed like a pretty rough guy. And your mother had him crying in the kitchen.
Yes. We refer to him as Mr. L for, Alcoholics Anonymous. He was a biker, a drug dealer, heavy into drugs and alcohol, connected with my mother at an AA meeting, spent some time at our home. My mother was helping him learn how to find himself. And he had done a lot of bad things. This particular morning you're referring to when he was crying, I'm walking down the hallway from my bedroom. It's early, probably even before 7 o'clock. And he's sitting in the kitchen with my mother at the kitchen table, and he's crying. And it's a very emotional cry. It's purging cry. And he's asking her why he's crying. And she said, you're starting to feel. This is a good thing. You're safe with me.
Yeah.
And it changed his life. Their relationship changed his life. He went on to get married, got a house, and he had a battle with cancer. He's now a speech therapist. She paid attention to him, spent some time with him, and showed him some unconditional love. So he responded. And we're still in touch with him.
That's fantastic.
The highest frequency, you love.
Yeah, exactly. And how simple it is. All she did was see these souls. That simply. You don't have to take it and make it be anything other than that. Just quite simply. And it leads the question, do you or your sisters, did any of you think that her gift rubbed off on you? I kind of already know the answer, but
it has. We're all natural caregivers. We'll pay attention to people in our life. Actually, there's an example of that in my house right now. A good friend of mine who's in the book lost his job, his marriage, and his house 8 months ago, and he's living with us. He's in the loft now, regrouping, finding himself. I've known him since I was 3. Our mothers were best friends. So, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to pay it forward too, though, like that.
Actually, I love that expression. Pay it forward.
Yes.
That's why I figured I knew the answer. I already knew it. I didn't know you had a living example of it right now, but I'm not the least bit surprised knowing that you're paying it forward.
Exactly. And I know that your mother saw the souls of it was more than just people. I guess in the real world, people are what need the help, but I love the hen story.
Oh, Henrietta.
I love that hen story.
So we had moved from Second Line West, late 80s. My mom is living in a little village, Streetsville, suburb of Toronto. And, it's a little town. And a hen comes walking up the driveway one morning, and Mom looks out and sees this hen walking up the driveway, walks out, opens the gate. The hen comes through the gate into the back pool area. So we've got an entertaining area behind the house, a nice barbecue area. There's a babbling brook that comes through the property, 2 huge weeping willow trees, and a lovely entertaining area. And this hen decides it's going to nest, and it builds a nest at the back of the pool, not tucked away, kind of right there in the middle of the sidewalk underneath this overhang. And Mom said that's her spot, leave her be. The hen was laying eggs. Mom named her Henrietta. And one morning we went out in the back and we had to coax Henrietta out of the nest because she had laid these eggs and they were rotting, and we had to dispose of them. And a couple weeks later, Henrietta's sitting on more eggs and we have to dispose of them. And then my mother says to me, looking out at Henrietta from the kitchen the next couple of mornings, she said, you got to take me over to the local farm. And she went into this local farm and came out with fertilized eggs. We come back to the house, we coax Henrietta out with the bread, and we put these fertilized eggs in there. And I don't know, I guess it was a week or 2 later, the hen, she was just cutting loose in the back pool area, squawking, and these eggs were hatching, and she was a mother. Just a little thing that meant so much to this animal, and strutting around the backyard with the flock, 4 chickens behind her, chicks. I guess I asked my mother years later, what about that at Henrietta? And she said that was a hen that she had when she was 3 or 4 down on the East Coast, the soul of that hen that had come back to revisit and say hello.
Oh, cool.
Because one morning we woke up and the hen was gone with the 4 chicks.
Yeah, she served her purpose, but it was
gone.
Rhoda's insight to know exactly what she needed.
Yes. Yeah, she paid attention, right?
Yeah.
Paid attention.
There it
And
is.
I think this is a big message, in the book, either consciously or subconsciously. I think the reader will experience the fact that my mother paid attention.
Again, it's the simple things in life that every single one of us can learn from. Her legacy of teaching us things like that is phenomenal. I think that's fantastic. So, and I know one of the things I really, really loved was the summary at the back of the book of what your mom taught you. That was just mind-blowing. I just loved it. But if you had to pick just one takeaway or lesson, what would you want the reader to get from your book?
I guess ultimately my intention for the book, and it's through her messages and through her teachings, is it goes back to that we are born with an inherent desire, want, and actual need to connect and help one another. And it's through that experience that we experience joy and fulfillment for real. Not just a cliche, joy, fulfillment, and happiness. It's something we can experience. And I think that the world has got it upside down. We're born that way. If you look at young children playing in a playground, if one of them falls down, another one helps them up.
Right.
Those same children in a daycare, if they're one child goes to the corner to move a play table and chairs from the corner of the room to the center of the room, the other children just pitch in automatically. They start to help.
Yep.
We're born with that. Then as our personality is engaged and our ego takes place, the word I is used. And the moment we use that, it separates us from everybody else. We change and we focus on things and wants and desires and goals to achieve fulfillment and happiness. We think it's there. It's not there. If it's there, it's temporary at best. Joy, fulfillment, and happiness are truly experienced through the engaging with other people and helping others. That's the message.
Yeah, that's a great message. That's a great message. Second line west. Where can people learn about you and your book? This is
Well, website is tomherstadofficial.com. This will be one book of, I think I've got 2 or 3 more.
oh good.
Actually, I've just finished another one.
Really good.
And I have a children's book that it's based on a poem that I wrote back in 1992 called The Eagle Within. And it's that we are all eagles. So that's, and we didn't touch on this before, but the book is going to be a movie. Movie deal
Oh, yes.
was confirmed as a result of a movie producer, his wife, reading the book and saying, "This is a message that needs to be shared with the world. Get a hold of this guy."
Yeah. Yeah.
I sat with him, and he said, "It's a female lead. It's bright, beautiful stories in these challenging times. These are stories that need to be told. Your mother had the courage and the bravery to love, and the world needs to know this." And as a result of one of my customers, I'm a lighting designer, taking the book away on vacation, they financed the screenplay. And what they said to me after they read the book, and it's a husband-wife team, they said, "This is a message that the world needs to hear." So they said the same thing to me that the producer said.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, absolutely. I loved the book. I just loved it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for writing.
It's a labor of love.
Thank you and your sisters for having the courage to write it as well, because you're putting yourselves out there, and it's great.
My sister was a big part of this. She helped the interviews. She transcribed the interviews to print. And it's a family project. She actually wrote the original screenplay for the film. They brought the daughter's energy into this project, into Second Line West, the movie, by allowing her to write the screenplay, being coached by Tom Schlesinger, 30 years experience in screenplay writing. And now the story has been, tweaked and altered a little bit, but her energy is still in that. So it's a family project, this book to movie.
And it's a family story too. So
it's a family story.
It absolutely makes sense. Wow. So, yeah. TomHerstadOfficial.com.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very, very, very much for talking with us today. It's been such a pleasure to sort of get the insights to the book and talk about it. And
looking forward to getting it in our hands.
When is it publishing? It is going to be available.
May 14th is my mother's birthday. May 14th, she would have been 83 years old.
May 14th.
Excellent.
So that's
the day. That date.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. I couldn't do this without you.
Anytime. It's our honor, truly. Okay. Thanks, everyone.